of course, no kings, the big no kings thing, which was just unbelievably embarrassing to watch. Everyone from your mental patient and beta guys and the boomers, the old folks, they come out of the retirement homes, and it's just, because you go, what did they do? What's the big accomplishment here? They're so proud when they talk about, this is what democracy looks like. This is what, you're supposed to do. We have the power. The people have the power. Our voices. They say all this, and then it's like the next day, and you go, what happened there? You had a big party across the United States. Some of your mostly blue lib cities had big turnouts, and people hung out dressed in various retarded costumes. And then, the day's over. And then the next day comes up, and what did all this courageous protesting do? Donald Trump's the president. He's not a king. So your protest was dumb right off the bat. No kings. Yeah, there are no kings here in the United States, so it's what it is. If you're protesting against something that doesn't exist, it's kind of stupid, right? I was saying it last night. The people that protested against the Vietnam War, they were passionate about it. There was a Vietnam War going on. And by, the late 60s, early 70s, a lot of Americans were pretty tired of it and didn't really see the purpose in it. And whatever the case may be, there were a lot of protests. Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
Hello, I'm Gavin McInnes.
And together we're Compound Censored.
And we would like you to subscribe with this deal using this promo code right below me right now.
Do it, because it's very entertaining. And there was indeed a war that was going on. The no nukes thing. You got your no nukes. And the people protested. There were nuclear power plants. And in places like Shoreham, Long Island, they did want to build nuclear power plants there. And the protesters like, no, we don't want this. And they're protesting about no kings. There aren't kings. Trump is a legally elected president doing his job. He's not doing anything illegal. The courts constantly try to stop him. The liberal judges and politicians, they constantly try to stop him from doing what he was elected to do, what he said he was going to do on his campaign promises. And then they don't like that, so they call him a king. What's the king? He's doing the job of the president of the United States. You don't like it. So obviously he's got to be a king or something. You're protesting something that doesn't exist. You're against something that isn't happening. So, you could protest that you don't like that illegals are being thrown out of the country. Protest away. Have a little sign that says, I don't think illegals should be thrown out of the country. Don't say that they're migrants or immigrants. Don't say that Trump is arresting his ICE squad of masked hoodlums are arresting Americans and deporting. Just say what it is. I don't like that this president is deporting illegals. And then he is deporting illegals. So at least your protest would be about something that's happening. If he's deporting illegals and you go, yeah, he's a king. You look retarded. You look pretty retarded. And boy, did they look retarded out there. It was quite the show. These big, organized Soros liberal protests, they really get them to crawl out from under the rocks and from the woodwork and all gather together in these big collections of just retarded people and mental patients. So that was fun. That was entertaining to see. And of course, there's the parts of the interviews they do where the people don't know what the fuck they're even protesting. This has become one of my favorite things at these protests. The simplest of questions. You're at a protest called No Kings because you believe that Trump somehow is acting more like a king than a president. I'll even go as far as to say that and go, you believe Trump is a king. Well, he's not really a king, but let's just say you believe he's acting like a king instead of a president. All right, let's run with that. What is he doing that is more like a king than a president? And they put the mic in their face and they're just like, dar, dar. Well, if I got to tell you, then, no, okay, you tell me. Oh, God, there's just so many. How much time you got? You got I got plenty of time. What is it? Geez, where do I start? I would start with any one thing. I'm not going to play into your little game, your little trap. It's just a question, just a fucking question about why you're here. But they don't know. They're lonely people. They don't have real lives. They don't have real friends. They have these cohorts, They call them comrades because they all profess to be some type of communist. They like communism and socialism, and they call each other comrade. So douchey. But so when there's these big gatherings like this, they go out and it gives them something to do. And they could be around people that aren't looking at them like they're retarded, because they're all retarded. So it's kind of a fun day for them. And the old folks, the same thing. You watch these movies and TV shows with the old person in the home, and the kids don't come and visit them. They're sitting there waiting with the suitcase, waiting for their kid with the grandkids to come with the car, and they don't show up. They got to walk back in, and it's all, sad. That's them. And this gives them something to do to get their mind off that their kids just kind of put them in the home, and they're pretty much useless now. They've used up the usefulness portion of their life. So now, they're getting people, sponsors of these things, Soros cronies, libs, the staff at the nursing home, it's a retirement community, whatever it is. And they tell them that there's this thing. They go out. They mingle with the people at these protests. You could hold a sign up and chant things that someone else is saying in a bullhorn and feel like you have a purpose. And there's nothing better you can give these people. Nothing better you could give these old boomers in the home. So, they get them out there, they usher them out, and that's their day. And then you get the politicians, Adam Schiff and Cory Booker, and they go, yeah, this is what democracy looks like. It's like, nah, not really. These are people that they just want something to do. They're not doing anything after that. There's a very few, the organizers of things like this, the Antifa people that feel they got to try to incite violence and whatnot. But all those people you saw all gathered together saying, this is important. Our voices are important. This is what democracy looks like, all that nonsense. Then, Sunday they were watching football and cooking for their dopey families. And what did it do? What did it accomplish? And then they all got mad at Donald Trump for posting a couple of really funny memes reposting. I'm sure Trump isn't sitting there working on his memes, but the one with him in the fighter jet dumping a bunch of shit on people, that was funny. And now I hear, what's his name? The guy that did Danger Zone, the song Danger Zone. He's all
Kenny
mad.
Loggins, maybe?
Yeah, Kenny Loggins. Kenny Loggins is all mad that Trump used his song without his permission. Sue him. So sue him. Donald will, his people will give you a few bucks. Like Kenny Loggins needs any more money. I think the guy literally, they're movies, very popular movies. Yeah, look at this. This is great. Like they changed the music. He's dumping shit on top of it's just great. It's so juvenile. It's just so juvenile. And then he puts the crown on. He's infuriating people with this shit. See? He's the king. He's going to stay in office. See? He put a crown on. And then the kneeling that they did for the cops and we're kneeling for Black Lives Matter. Just so ridiculous. But yeah, it's juvenile. It's ridiculous. It's what guys would do. Oh yeah, no King's rally? How about I fly a fighter and dump shit all over you? It's hilariously juvenile. But it's funny. It's funny. And they see it as like this serious issue. See, he is a king. See, he's not going to leave office when his term is up. I was like, yeah, relax. He already did a term. They were crying that he wasn't going to leave office then, and he left as per the Constitution when he was supposed to, and now they're saying the same thing, and he's just leaning into it. The people that don't understand Donald Trump at this point, the guy has been dissected for, almost 20 years now. He's been dissected by the media, by Hollywood, all the usual suspects. And if you don't understand him by now, you're really, I don't know. I guess you don't have the ability to see and understand somebody after having such exposure to them, or you're really brainwashed and everything that the media tells you and these politicians tell you, you think is real. So when you see a video like that and Trump's getting a crown put on his head, he's pulling his sword out, you see? Instead of going, oh, he's just dragging the shit out of you dummies. This is what he does. And, he puts the hats out there, Trump 2028. He just knows it. It gets them all riled up. And Trump, if you know anything about Trump, and you should, over the time we've had him in the public eye, he loves this shit. He loves fucking with people. So he downplays the no kings thing, which isn't hard to downplay. Look, they had numbers. I won't lie. Some of these blue cities, Boston and Chicago, New York, they had big numbers, not as big as they said. What the hell is the dog doing? His back legs are on the chair. His front legs are walking away from the chair. I think that was a stretch. Not bad. Yeah, he goes, now I forgot, the dog totally threw me from what I was talking about. It happens. Mm-hmm. Oh. But he likes trolling people, and, they don't understand that. They don't get it. He's not staying as president. I don't think he really wants to anymore. I mean, he is an energetic guy for his age, especially. But 3 more years of this, at his age, he'll be ready to, take a little break from the over a decade at that point of being in the public eye and just being assaulted by the left constantly. There was apparently outside of one of the airports he goes to in Florida, Palm Beach, I think, there was a hunting platform, like a deer stand in a tree that had a view, a clear view of where Trump's plane taxis after it's landed when it lands at that airport in Florida. I saw an overhead view of this, and it doesn't look like a big wooded area where there would be hunters. It just doesn't. This isn't a deer stand where you're hunting for deer. This looked like some type of setup to get a view of the airport. Now, obviously, I guess the FBI disassembled this thing and took it into their labs there, Quantico or whatever, Quantico, and they're going to see what evidence they could get out of it. Who knows? You know, this could be somebody that likes airplanes, you know, taking pictures of the planes and stuff. But the fact that it was within the runway and the taxiways and where Air Force One taxis to, and Trump gets out of Air Force One, it seems a little suspect, if you ask me. Maybe if there hadn't been multiple assassination attempts on Donald Trump, you would go, oh, stop. Oh, you're dramatizing it, your tinfoil hat. But the attempts made on Trump's life would lead me to believe the first thing I would do is, want to get to the bottom of this thing. So it's unfortunate that I think for the next 3 years that Trump is president, we have not seen the last of these attempts on his life. And there's only so much the Secret Service can do. And I believe it was in The Godfather 2. If history has shown us anything, it's that you can kill anybody. You know, it doesn't matter. They were going for Hyman Roth. Michael Corleone wanted Hyman Roth killed after the Cuban debacle and the assassination attempts on his life. And they're like, there's no way. You know, there's no fucking way you're going to get Hyman Roth. The security that's around him, the police, the media. And it's like, well, you could kill him, but the person that kills him might not get out alive. And that's just what happened. It's like a guy that was pretending to be a news guy, and he shoots Hyman Roth, and he's summarily dispatched pretty quickly. But as history has shown us, you could kill anybody. So even with the security, it's a scary situation for Donald Trump. And he's not one of these guys that hunkers down in a basement or a bunker or, you know, he's out there. He's enjoying his life. He's golfing with his granddaughter. He's taking a lot of foreign trips overseas and domestic trips. And it's frightening because we know what the left is like and what they're capable of and what they want. And we saw it during this incredibly peaceful No Kings rally and protests that went on across the country. Did you hear the left talking about how the media, how peaceful it all was? And it's just a collection of people. Yeah, if you look on the outside, you see these giant groups of people, and the fact that there's not gunfire or very overt fighting going on. Yeah, they're a bunch of old people and a bunch of, you know, white betas walking around cosplaying. So you're not getting that real overt violence. But everything they were saying when the speakers would get up and talk to these crowds, or the chants through the bullhorn, they would chant these phrases and slogans, and a crowd of puppets, morons, and sheep would repeat it. They were all very, very vile, violent. Their fantasies of assassinating Trump and their pleasure with Charlie Kirk being murdered, violence, punching Nazis, and like all this shit they come out with is very violent rhetoric. So while, they weren't fighting amongst themselves or looting or burning places down like we've seen in Black Lives Matter and Antifa based rallies, the rhetoric was there. The call to violence was there. And 3 more years of Trump with these lunatics, and they're easily manipulated and wound up to do the bidding of these left-wing fanatics, the upper echelon that wants Trump out of the picture. All you need are a few of these nuts. And we saw a collection of them. And I think, that's part of it. Why organize millions of people to come out for a rally, a protest against something that I said before that isn't real? Trump isn't a king. He's not doing anything that's against the Constitution. He's not. He's doing things that are making the left unhappy, but that goes with a president who's actually doing what he said he would do in his campaign. So what's the purpose? Why would people like George Soros and all the other people that finance and organize these giant protests and rallies, why would they do that if they know that in the end you're going to wake up and Trump's still going to be president? Well, it goes back to the argument I have about the new type of MK Ultra, the new Manchurian candidate. We've seen that all you need is a large enough group of lunatics and mentally ill people. And you need to get that message to as many of them as you can. And you'll get 1 or 2 or a dozen that will take it that step further and resort to violence. That's the only real reason why they would go through so much of this trouble to get so many millions of these people in groups and then just hit them with these chants, the chanting and the podium speeches by people. And they're saying things quite literally saying, pick up guns and take up arms against ICE agents. This is what you need to do. And then this is democracy. This is what we're seeing. We're seeing democracy in action. There are mental patients, the millions of people there, they're just out having a good time. They think they're doing something. It's exactly what I said before, this useless nonsense. But there's a few people in that large group that will do violence against the people that the left has dubbed enemies of the state and enemies of democracy, existential threats to our freedom. So this, I think, was just trying to get enough people together to where they could put that message out there and affect those very few people that are willing to go out and attempt to murder people that the left has seen as the enemies. And I just don't see any other reason to put together marches and protests like this for something that isn't real. You're protesting against this fantasy that Trump is a king. Yeah, get enough people together. That's how I see it. That's how I see this fucking thing. It was Manchurian candidate induction. That's what they do. So if you enjoyed that clip,
then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.